The sun is finally out and you step into your garden and for a second everything looks fine. Then you see them. Dandelions are scattered across your lawn, weeds are pushing up through every crack in your patio, and that feeling hits. The one where you think, didn't I just deal with this? The truth is, most people spend years fighting weeds and never actually win, not because they're lazy, but because they're doing it wrong. Pulling them by hand, grabbing whatever spray is cheapest, and hoping this time it sticks. It never does. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to get rid of weeds on your lawn and across your patio. Two completely different problems that need two completely different solutions. And more importantly, I'll show you the one thing that stops them coming back for good. Let us start with the lawn weeds and why pulling them out is making things worse. When you see a dandelion in your lawn, the instinct is to grab it and pull. It feels satisfying. But here's what's happening underneath while you're feeling pleased with yourself. A dandelion taproot can grow up to 30 centimeters deep into the soil. When you pull the leaves and the stem out, that root doesn't move. It just sits there. And within weeks, sometimes just days, a brand new plant grows straight back up from it. You haven't removed the weed, you've pruned it. And every time you do it, that root gets a little more established. You've been making it stronger. So what actually works? For individual weeds, you need a long-handled weeding tool, specifically one designed to extract the full root, not just snap it off at the surface. The way it works is simple. You push it into the soil right alongside the root, give it a lever, and the whole thing comes out in one clean pull, root and all, gone. It's genuinely satisfying in a way that hand pulling never is, because this time you're actually finishing the job. It works perfectly for dandelions, plantain, thistles, anything with a single deep taproot. But here's where it gets a bit more complicated. If your lawn isn't dealing with the odd weed here and there, if you've got clover spreading in patches or creeping buttercup taking over whole areas, a hand tool alone isn't going to cut it. You need a different approach entirely. This is where a selective weed killer changes everything. And I want to be really clear about what selective actually means, because this is where most people make a costly mistake. A selective weed killer is formulated to kill broadleaf weeds, dandelions, clover, daisies, while leaving your grass completely untouched. And the reason it can do that is actually quite clever. Grass has a completely different biological structure to broadleaf plants. The active ingredient essentially speaks to one and ignores the other. Your weeds absorb it, your grass doesn't even notice. When you apply it, you want a dry, calm day. No rain forecast, no wind. Keep children and pets off the lawn until it's fully dried, and then just leave it alone. Within 2 to 3 weeks, you'll start to see the weeds yellowing, shriveling, and dying off. And the grass underneath, it simply closes back in and recovers on its own. And here's the part most people never find out about: how to stop them coming back in the first place. Raise your mowing height. That's it. Seriously. Most people cut their grass far too short, and without realizing it, they're leaving the door wide open for weeds to return. But when you keep your grass at around 3 to 4 inches high, something changes. It becomes thick, dense, and it starts blocking sunlight from ever reaching the soil surface. Weed seeds need light to germinate. No light, no weeds. Your own lawn becomes its best defense, and you didn't have to spray a single thing. Now let's talk about your patio, because this is a completely different problem and it catches a lot of people out. Those weeds forcing their way up between your paving slabs, along the edges, through every tiny crack, they're not the same as the weeds in your lawn. They grow differently, they root differently, and if you treat them the same way you treat your grass, you're either going to waste your time or damage your paving. So let's sort this out properly. Here's the mistake that catches almost everyone out on a patio. Most people grab a total weed killer, the kind that contains glyphosate, the stuff that kills pretty much everything it touches, and spray it across the patio. And on a hard surface with no lawn nearby, that's actually fine. But here's the problem. Spray drift is real. Even on a calm day, some of that chemical travels. It lands on the edges of your lawn, on nearby plants, on things you didn't mean to hit, and within days, you've got dead brown patches in your grass that can take months, sometimes an entire season, to fully recover. You set out to fix your patio and ended up damaging your lawn. So, on the patio, we use different methods entirely. The first method is one that most people walk straight past every day without realizing it. Boiling water. That's it, straight from the kettle, poured carefully and directly onto the weeds growing between your slabs. The boiling water destroys the plant cells on contact, roots included, so there's nowhere for it to regrow from. Just pour it slowly so it doesn't splash back on you and aim it right at the base of the weed, where the root sits. Within 28 to 48 hours, they'll be brown, shriveled, and completely dead. It costs nothing, it leaves zero chemical residue, and it works every time, because you're not masking the problem, you're destroying it at the source. The second method is one that's been passed around gardening communities for years, and once you've tried it, you'll understand why. It's a DIY mixture you can make at home with 3 things you probably already have. Mix together 1 liter of white vinegar, a tablespoon of table salt, and just a small squeeze of washing up liquid. Each ingredient has a job. The vinegar breaks down the waxy coating on the leaves, the salt dehydrates the plant from the inside out, and the washing up liquid makes the whole mixture stick to the surface instead of running off. Pour it or spray it directly onto the weeds on a warm, dry day. The heat helps it work faster. Now here's the part you really need to hear. This mixture changes the acidity of the soil wherever it lands. That's exactly why it's so effective between paving slabs, but you must keep it well away from your lawn, your flower beds, and any surrounding soil. The third method is for when the weeds have really dug in, the ones that laugh at vinegar and come back no matter what you do. For stubborn weeds that have rooted themselves deeply between the slabs, a wire brush or a patio knife is the most effective tool. Work it along the joints between your slabs, get underneath the root, and scrape the whole thing out cleanly. It takes a bit of elbow grease, but the result is clean, clear joints with nothing left behind to regrow. But if you're dealing with a large area, a whole patio covered in weeds, long runs of jointing that would take hours to do by hand, a flame weeder is genuinely one of the best investments a gardener can make. You run it slowly along the joints, and the intense heat kills the plant instantly, right down to the root. No chemicals, no residue, no mess. So your patio is clear, the weeds are gone, now let's make sure they don't come back. The single most effective thing you can do is seal the joints between your slabs, because those gaps are exactly where weed seeds land, take root, and start the whole cycle again. Fill them with kiln-dried sand or polymer sand. Both are available at any builder's merchant or garden center. Brush it firmly into every joint until they're completely packed. If you want the best result, go with polymer sand. When you water it in, it sets firm, almost like a light cement, and leaves no loose material for seeds to germinate in. Once it's set, there's simply nowhere for a weed to get started. It's one afternoon of work, and in return, you get years of a clean, weed-free patio without lifting another finger. You can also finish with a patio sealant over the top. It locks everything in, protects the surface, and makes future cleaning far easier. Completely optional, but worth knowing about. Now, once you finally get rid of all those stubborn weeds, you might notice a new problem. Pulling out large taproots or killing thick patches of weeds often leaves behind ugly, bare dirt spots in your grass. If your lawn is currently suffering from bare patches, whether they are from old weeds, heavy foot traffic, or pets, let me know in the comments, because showing you how to repair those bare patches and get thick green grass growing back fast is exactly what we're covering in the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you in the next one.